Okay, so we start recording.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So, like I said, we want to do a demonstration of how to provision an Azure SQL database. Of course, probably you have an opportunity to go for an interview. They might ask you if you have deployed this before, There's always an opportunity to be able to do it from declarations of one or two deployments before.
Your audio is not clear. I don't know what's happening. It's wobbling.
Just how about now?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Okay, so I was saying that it's one of those things that you can encounter when you go for an interview or when you are called for an interview, if you have deployed an SQL database. So for in Azure environment, I just want us to do a little demonstration before we go on class, because it's one of the things that you also need to know. Okay, so I just don't want to skip it because it's a demonstration. So I want to believe that you have an Azure account or you have access to an Azure account. Are you with me?
Yes. Created one that day now. So let me try and sign on.
Okay, so share your screen so that I can just guide you.
Hold on.
Let me stop here.
Can you see me now?
Yes, I can see your screen.
Can receive code. Am I supposed to send code?
No, you're supposed to give your phone number. We send the verification code to this number. So to verify that this number, type the last 4 digits. So let's say your number is 6252.
I know. But I don't have the code yet.
You don't have the phone there?
I don't have the code yet.
No, you need to first of all type this 4 large digit number of the phone. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They will now send code to that phone number.
Okay. I didn't even read. No, thanks, Abby.
You can just verify. Okay?
I should click on no, thanks.
Yes.
Okay. Ekabo. Sorry, Azure Portal.
Okay. Now you can see from this place that there's an SQL database there.
Yes, I think we deployed one, Abby.
I know, deploy one, lie. Didn't so.
So which one did we do that we did deployed Adventure Works on it?
This Tony VM now.
Okay, so why are you not saying like we didn't do it?
So now you deploy a VM, then inside your VM, I put an SQL database inside your VM.
Okay, so what's the difference between what I asked now that you said no lie and the one you are just saying now?
What we want to do now is Azure SQL database.
Okay, which one is different from
which is different from a virtual machine to one leg there. You understand?
Okay, so what is okay? Is SQL database that is in the virtual machine?
It's the same SQL database that is on cloud. It's the same thing, but it's just that the one on cloud is managed by Microsoft, so there's no infrastructure. So from your virtual machine is your infrastructure. We put our database inside the virtual machine. Do you remember?
Oh, okay.
And then we now deploy
like infrastructure, like more of infrastructure.
Infrastructure as a service. Do you understand now?
Yes.
Exactly. So this other one, the SQL database is a
like
platform as a service. Not software. Platform as a service. Yes. So the infrastructure is handled by Microsoft. So they bill you for the infrastructure, they bill you for the platform. So it's very expensive. And then you cannot off it. If you click on Tony VM.
Okay.
What is the state of Tony VM? The status. From there, you can see.
What do you mean by status?
Status only. MRE resource group, status, location, subscription, like. What's the status?
Status, location, which part?
Just where you see connect, start, under connect, start, extension, resource group, Tony, status, stop.
Okay, stopped. Okay, yeah.
So the status is stops. Not only stop, it's also deallocated.
What does that deallocated mean?
Deallocated means that they have removed it from the server in the data center.
Okay.
So you are not being charged.
Okay.
So it's not like since the day you created this VM for you, now left it run. If you start it now, it will be running. And once you run, you'll be charging us like almost like $100 per month. And
now,
you're not using it.
If I want the applications I have on my virtual machine here now, how do I know? At least we deployed SQL database the other time. So how do I see? This is my VM. This is my VM, Abi.
Yes, this is your VM.
Our applications are located then. How will I see them?
You want to enter your VM? It's two different things.
Okay, my work tools on this VM, for example, if I want to see them, okay, let's say I'm in an organization, I just sign in now. And I want to check my work tools that I'm using to work. Let's say SQL database, Power BI, and all those things. Where will I see it here?
That is inside the VM. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, inside this VM, yes, now.
So you will press start. But don't start yet.
I'm okay. I just want to know.
And then you go to that search on your computer. You now look for RDP. Now RDP into that VM.
RD what? Which search? This one here?
No. The one on your computer.
This one?
No. Normal search as if you want to look for PowerPoint. Let's assume you want to bring up PowerPoint or Microsoft Word. Where you search?
Is it here where I am now?
Okay. This your computer. Imagine you want to bring up PowerPoint. You want to bring up Microsoft Word. Where will you search Microsoft Word?
Here.
Yes. Now type RDP.
Okay.
Press
I need to go and connect.
You understand?
Oh yeah. Let's. We are coming back to that. You see, because I've not done it in a long time now. I've forgotten.
Don't worry, very soon. That's where we will be working. Once we are done with the additional stuff. Okay, so now go back to O, where your cursor is. You can see O. Okay, so now we are trying to deploy SQL database. Okay. Now your database resides on your database server. You are,
My database is what?
your database resides on a database server.
Yes.
Okay. But here, you are not deploying a database server. You are deploying a database.
Because this is a server already.
It's not a server. That's a database. That's why I'm trying to emphasize. So you can go to that your global search. That is important search. You can type SQL server. See that another thing.
Server, Sabi. This one.
So can you see that there's a SQL server? Can you see that there's a SQL database?
Yes.
Do you understand?
Yes.
So basically you can start with any of the two. So which means that if you start with a SQL server, you now later create a database inside your SQL server.
Okay.
Just like the way you create database. You know, remember inside your management studio, you say create database, blah blah blah.
Yes.
When you are running your SQL,
Yes.
you can use that same command to also okay. But Azure Portal is saying instead of using that command, you can just click on this notice here, and then you create a database.
So you can't, you don't need to now create SQL servers first. You need to just create database straight.
I'm just saying.
Oh, okay.
So do you get? I'm just saying. Remember at the home panel, you saw SQL database. You not see SQL server. So if you click on SQL database, while you are trying to create your SQL database, it will prompt you later to create a SQL server.
That's what I want to know.
You understand? So you can as well decide to start by creating a SQL server and then later creating the SQL database on top of it.
Now, if you create database, in the process, you definitely try to create server.
You must create that server. Just so now, if you look at the other diagrams you are looking at, look at the other side, you see SQL virtual machine. Can you see SQL virtual machine?
Yeah.
So that is also the normal virtual machine, or it's a server, your normal server virtual machine that has the SQL engine, SQL server inside, just like the one I created for you, sir.
Yeah.
Do you understand? That's the third type now. So this one now, sir, is that SQL VM. Yes. What type of arrangement is it? Is it infrastructure? Is it pass? Structure.
Hold on. Yeah, finish it. I did come, sorry. What?
I don't have to steal.
Sorry, Jerry. Sorry, yeah, what did you say again? I was distracted by the kids. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now, sir.
Yeah, can you take that again?
I'm saying, I'm trying to ask you a question.
Yeah.
From your knowledge so far,
Yeah.
I'm pointing you another diagram, another sign here called SQL virtual machine.
SQL virtual machine. Okay.
Can you see? Now, I explained that your SQL virtual machine means that your SQL server is inside the virtual machine.
Okay. You don't need to create anything.
Just create normally the way you create your virtual machine. That's how you create it. By the time you have created it, you now discover that your SQL server is already residing inside the VM. So I'm now asking you.
Okay.
This SQL VM, which category does it belong to? Is infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, or software as a service?
I mean, it should be software as a service.
Do you still remember what software as a service is?
The cloud provider is providing everything, all your applications and all that. Hold on.
So that means that you don't have to, there's no administrative configuration that you're going to be doing. No administrative behind.
Yeah.
But if you deploy a virtual machine, normal virtual machine, because your virtual machine and infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, or software as a service.
If you deploy your normal virtual machine, that would be like infrastructure as a service.
So from your answer, what makes SQL virtual machine different from the answer you gave?
You don't have any administrative role on this. What you want has been created for you. It's been created for you already. All you need to do is just log on and do your work.
In as much as the VM, in as much as the VM, and your VM are categorized as infrastructure as a service. You don't get your SQL VM and infrastructure as a service. Understand. I want you to understand.
Your audio is not clear. Can
you hear me like this?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay. So I was saying, when you have, normally you know your SQL server, the one at the left, right there, which is under your SQL database. When you deploy any of these, you are deploying them on a pass level, platform as a service. Why? All the infrastructure are controlled, managed by Microsoft Azure. You need to just put your data in there and start querying it.
Okay.
Now, when you deploy a virtual machine, you know by now that the virtual machine is an infrastructure irrespective of them as inside.
Yes.
So now you now have an SQL server inside your virtual machine. Does that make that virtual machine, SQL virtual machine, an infrastructure platform?
I don't even know how to answer this. Because you are not deploying SQL Server again, I think it should be platform as a service.
Okay, so because you are saying this SQL inside your machine.
Yes.
So what happened to the administrative overhead that you do to a VM naturally?
That one is being controlled by what's it called? It can't be controlled by you again because the SQL is already in the virtual machine.
So what? Because to one virtual machine, who is going to do the configuration? You or Microsoft?
Microsoft has already done it.
The day I deploy a VM for you remember who downloaded Power BI?
Me.
Who downloaded SQL Server? Who downloaded Azure Data Store? Okay. All the configuration we tied all those things together. Who did those things?
Me.
Exactly. People don't confuse in the SQL database on Azure.
Maybe because I've not seen it, whether it will require any administrative
but I'm trying to just juggle your mind so that you know how to interplay all these things very well. SQL Server, this SQL VM, because it's already inside the VM, you are the one in charge of your VM. So which means it's an infrastructure, whatever that's inside. So You'll be the one to scale it up. You'll be the one to reduce it. You'll be the one to. Do you understand? Now, the reason why they have that is because Microsoft discovered that some organizations do want to start all over again. Start all over again means that they have an environment they are already working, they are used to in their workplace. So once they are moving to cloud, they want exactly only knowing workspace one, which they want it cloud. And that's why they created this one. Let's understand why. So now click on SQL Database. Let's start from there. But once we finish this deployment, so go to create SQL Database. So now you are creating an SQL database. We say create a SQL database with your preferred configuration. Complete this basic tab and then go to review. Blah, blah. Now click on that subscription. We are yet to review this.
What's that?
Our payment is yet to reflect. Let me click on that default directory where your Gmail is. Click on switch directory.
Should I stop so you start sharing, or it has to be me that will do it?
So basically, if you do it.
Okay.
Okay, no problem. I think I have to do it because our payment is yet to reflect. So we'll not be able to. Let me just stop sharing. Let me.
Where you stop sharing again?
No, I'm already sharing. Don't worry. It's override.
Okay.
It's override. Don't worry. My name is Italy. I'm a teacher. You can see my screen, sir.
I can see your screen. I think for us to even continue to relate better with this IaaS, PaaS, and SaaS, it's good for you to continuously give example of companies, that are using those and why are they using it. So one will be able to relate easily. You understand? Rather than just looking at, okay, you should deploy application at runtime and all that. It's also companies usually use based on their accounts with you. This one use IaaS because infrastructure as a service, these are the kind of things they do. The ones that use PaaS, these are the kind of things they do. The ones that use SaaS, why are they using SaaS? Based on their explanation. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying.
I do.
Because if more understanding will be known if you can relate with all this things. Can come along and carry the surface.
Okay, so if we decide to deploy a secret database, so normally we look at it as based
Yeah.
tags. So from here, of course, you pick your subscription, pick your resource group. You can create a new resource group. But I mean, I already have. Yeah. Okay. So here, I now create the name of your database. So we can say customer database, customer data. Now, saying you should select server. Are you see now?
Yeah.
So which means you don't have a server, except if the server has already been created.
Okay, this is the point where you have not
Where you now create your SQL server. So your SQL server is the one on platform as a service, because you are not going to see, you are not seeing the infrastructure on which this SQL server is sitting on. Do you understand?
Yes.
So you just create. So you can see DP 900. Now, this name also must be a unique URL name over the world.
Okay.
No two server must have the same URL, because the URL, which means you can connect to this server via internet, not even in Azure. You get into scope.
Mm-hmm.
So let me drop the authentication here. And how do I want the authentication? You can do SQL authentication, you can do Azure Active Directory authentication, you can both combine it. So let's just stick with SQL. So server admin will be, let's say, the password. So created the credential. That is for the server. You get.
Yeah.
Remember the database we are trying to deploy is named customer data. Okay. Let me use training data. Training data. Okay, so now I would like to show you one of them.
What is it showing you? There's an error.
Yes, it's the one Microsoft. It's the one Microsoft is Azure. Let's use Java training. Now, SQL Elastic Pool means that it's going to create different. We don't want that. So here, this is what I want you to know. Come to computer storage. This is this type that I want to deploy for us, standard. Now this is 10 BTU, data transmission per unit, 250 gigabit storage, 250 gigabit storage. So what sort of data are we looking for? I can deploy 250 data storage. Can you get what I'm saying?
Yes.
So here, you rather come back here and do the other database. So service tiers, standard for workload, data for performance. So let's just pick basic for less demanding work.
Okay.
Perhaps. So we just put basic because what we want to do is not, do you understand?
Mm-hmm.
Now, because we have put basic, our maximum data size is 2 what?
2 gig.
We are trying to save ourselves that cost. So now, see the estimated cost of $5. So in fact, you can still reduce this size, this 2 gig, down to 1 gig, and reduce this to 500 MB. You can say our database, so really we go file it about the database. This is let's just give it 500 MB. Because they charge us based on this size. Do you understand? So this is 500 MB. So what database have I posted to 10 MB? So at the end of the day, look at the estimated cost, $5. But some people don't know if they automatically go for this, can charge them as high as charge them as high as 1,200 US a month, $2,400 in a month, almost 5,000 US in a month.
Are you serious?
Only estimate new. Estimate. So you can see the capacity where you can scale. Later, she not put the scale. Even after deploying this SQL server, you can come back and say, oh, my data is increasing. You get, let me increase the size. I come back here. But we are not using this anyway. So what do you do? Back to charging us $5 per month. So remember those questions we asked that time. If you have a very heavy something, this one will not take it. So you apply. So you can see the basic storage. Just 1 gig.
Okay.
So now backup. How do you want to back up? So let's just stick with local because anything Zoom, we will Zoom around local. We will geo that, which means you have to go and take it to another. You go and save it to another region. But don't forget, it's just a test environment. It's not a production.
Yeah.
Why are we living our data in Asia? So we go to networking. So we said configure network access and connectivity. Now configuration selected we apply to the selected.
Sorry. Let me ask you a question.
Okay.
Is there database administrator for every team. For example, there's a team that is, let's say, business intelligence, data analysis. Yeah, there's another team that is for business analysis. Mhm. There's maybe cyber security team, IT security team. Okay, now do those ones, they don't use database now, all those things I mentioned. Let me just use business analysis and data analysis. These are two separate teams. Everybody is on Azure. Yeah. Do you have data administrator person per team, or it is the team in charge of data administration that handles whatever they need and all that, and what is the configuration?
There will always be a database.
Yeah.
So there will always be a database administrator
For each team.
for each organization or particular team. And they can give them roles. Can give them roles. Can give those things roles.
Okay, let me put it again in a way that I don't know whether you don't understand my question. Now, for example, my own team is data analysis. We're in charge of analyzing data using SQL Server, blah blah blah. Sure, you understand? To Power BI to do our data. Now, we have business analysis team. They are the ones in charge of reviewing process and all that, creating process improvements, creating new products. Let's say you want to improve your process, or you want to do internet banking, for example, are the ones that will do all the configuration from the customer's end and the back end, how it's going to be. So the process of them starting all the creation up to the point that they will, put as a customer, this is what they expect the customers to see, so that they can do all this kind of thing. Sure, you understand? They have their own work station on Azure too. Sure, do you understand? And I'm sure the tools will be using tools a data analysis person will be using, right? Or am I, correct me if I'm wrong?
Yeah, tools are
and everybody is on Azure. They're working on Azure platform. Now the question, administrator, are they
what's your question, sir?
configuration?
Your question, sir. The line was good.
Noise at the background. I can hear noise. Stop.
Can you hear me, sir?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
So my question is now, is the database administrator in charge of the one, doing all this configuration, irrespective of the unit, using work tools on this?
That is why it's called database administrator. The database administrator is in charge of basic administration of the database engine. Is in charge of the security. Is in charge of the access level and access control. Do you understand?
Yes.
Your business analyst need data to work.
Mm-hmm.
Your AI developer need data to work. Even if you are doing streaming data or you are doing stream analytics, need data to work. Those people that you said they are working on processes and all of those stuff, they also need data to work.
Yes.
So all their data are coming from somewhere.
Yes.
So everybody you are looking at can be working on the same data. Let's say on the same SQL server. Every one of them. Now, everybody that's working on that same SQL server can as well not have access to some database.
Yes.
Because database, see our command in backend. We call it people of the front end are the business analysts, the people that work with Power BI, and all of those stuff. So people that are doing project design, product design, and all of those things, they are also at the back end. Their own data will be different, but every data is hosted on that particular on a single server. So the database administrator will be able to configure access to a particular database.
Okay, and if you need data, they'll tell you where to get the data and all those stuff.
They are the one, they are the custodian of the data.
Of data. Okay.
Yes. They are the custodian. If you remember, remember when we deployed the adventure work last time?
Mm-hmm.
Can't you see the amount of database that is inside adventure work?
Yes.
Inside adventure work, there are HR data.
Yes.
Inside adventure work, there are sales data. Inside adventure works, there are marketing, let's say products and all of those things, different kind of data. So if I'm not in HR, what do I need their database? Do you understand? So you will need someone that is called a quality analyst in HR to work with HR data. Do you understand?
Yes.
So you will need a business analyst from the point that you're coming from to work on the sales data, to look at the trend, how they are doing, how they are performing, using tools like Power BI. Do you understand?
Yes.
But you will need a data engineer to tie everything together so that their data can either move in batches or move in streams, or so that is the link, the front user, which are the database analysts, the back-end user, which are the database administrator, data engineers, human link together. They create pipelines. I was training you that day and I told you. They create pipelines, they create flows, they create what we call workflows, like on automation. Do you understand? Okay, so if this is coming from here, we want this to go to here and here, we want this to be analyzed by this and this. I want to machine, I want data engineers to machine. I want to need tools, and tools to are powerful. We will not pay me data warehouse or Azure Synapse. I told you I are going to get to that.
Yeah.
Do you understand? So at the back end, lẹ́yìn pátápátá ni àwọn chief daddy wà, àwọn tó ń pè ní database administrator. So àwọn ló máa sọ pé, oh, based on the company policy, we want this set of people to have access to this set of data. This set of people, just like your normal administrator work, not a server administrator. But because when you say server, SQL server is one type of a server that resides on the normal physical server. I'm trying to explain those software server to you, physical server to you. Do you understand? So it now depends on the environment where these people are working. So which means that in a physical data center, let's say in your bank, in a physical data center, they might be running, of course, they run physical components, physical computer, physical server. But inside that physical server, they will run what we call a virtual machine. That would, of course, for example, they will need a server for DHCP. They will put it on virtual machine. They will need a server for DNS that will be resolving their IP to their domain name. They will put it there. They will create another virtual machine on that physical machine. They put it there. They will need another VM to be where they will put their IIS, their internet something, where they can host their website or host their app. They will put it there. Now, because it's a bank, they are collecting a lot of data. They are generating data and information. They will also need another VM that their SQL server will, or either SQL server or Cosmo DB or Gremlin or any type of database or MySQL that they are using. It will now reside. Do you understand? So, which means that if I'm the IT head of a particular data center, as the IT head, which means I'm the chief administrator, so I will have to grant access to different people. So I know that, oh, I need to hire a database administrator to come and work on our VM, on our server, where we already have SQL server residing, so that this guy can do whatever it is required of him to do. Do you understand?
Yes.
Okay. So I don't want to talk too much, so I need that to let
because
okay. So now,
we can go on now.
Okay, so now this is the most important part of this SQL server. Because it is hosted in Azure. Azure is for Microsoft. Microsoft runs its own networking as a company. Azure, which is the cloud platform of Microsoft, runs its own normal private network that nobody have access to. So it makes that this thing secure. So when you're talking about networking, you're talking about those private internal network where machines, endpoints, sometimes they use the word endpoint to communicate to each other. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So within this Azure, there's only what we call a virtual network. Now I'll explain that to you. That day where I was trying. So inside your virtual network, machine can communicate to each other by using what we call a private IP. So if the machine needs to communicate outside or something coming from outside to communicate, it will use public IP. So that's why anytime you want to communicate to your VM, when you deploy your RDP, you put your public IP attached to that particular VM.
Okay.
So when you are not working, nobody can attack your VM because once you deallocate it, you remove the IP address from the mouth of the VM. It's like it's the mouth of the VM that is bringing it.
Okay.
Do you understand? So when you stop your VM, it will deallocate. You must separate both the VM and the IP address. So how do they want to enter what is shut down? Definitely not. They won't enter. So from this networking, this is where is most important, like I said. Here you can choose an option for configuring connectivity to your server via a public endpoint. I've explained what a endpoint is. The normal VM, your anything, computer. So you said choose an access, create with default, and we configure connection method after server creation. So now, if you say no access, there's no point to saying no access. Saying no access means that you have to go and look for another machine that will be accessing this SQL server for you. You understand? It's like people are saying, look at but you need to access your SQL server now to retrieve details. True of course. So you go to public endpoint or private endpoint. Private endpoint means that connection will only happen on Azure. While public endpoint means that, of course, the word public, it has to go through the panel. As you know, of course. But basically, because of the test environment we are doing, I would advise you go with public endpoint. Okay. Now we have another. Remember, we are still in networking. Talking part. Now we have another feature. It says setting allow Azure services and resources to access this server to yes. Allow communication from all resources inside the Azure panel. Just a minute, sir.
Okay.
Okay, so sorry, sir. So I was trying to explain another function. Are you there, sir?
Yes.
Okay, so I was trying to explain another function. So now for our IP now, we're saying we want to connect to this SQL database, or perhaps let's say the server publicly, which means we want to connect over the internet. If we say we don't want to connect over the internet, that means it is within the Azure portal. That means you have to sign into Azure portal to start connecting. But remember, you don't have access to this account. But I want you to also have access to what we are doing. Let's say, well, because it is public, it's not always safer. Now, anything public can be attacked. So you can't be running an organization where you put all your database, and then you are saying all your staff should be accessing them over the internet. When a cyber attack, let me share. So there's what we call SQL injection. Destroy put you guys to us. You understand? But because of course, test training. So who know us now? Gentlemen, so we just go with public health. Now another one thing that helps with security, your firewall. Firewall. Okay, so firewall concept networking, that what it does basically is to filter out IPs coming into a particular network. In Azure, another one is also called network security. Okay.
Network what?
Network security group, NSG. So that one is also found in your VM. So what that one does is within a subnet or within a network, it stands at the gate and try to filter out some network protocols and all of that. Okay. But for your firewall is like a whole service on its own. A whole service on its own in Azure portal. When it comes to networking. So which means that if you run a company, if you run a data center, apart from having your server, your storage, your physical component, there's another physical component called firewall that you must get. Do you understand? It is the physical component. Not to be like put that beginning. So that firewall physical component has a software firewall component. So which means that what it does is to filter traffic. So we share mad corner, but Azure has been able to recreate that for your SQL server and say, okay, now that you want to you want to connect to public, yes, okay, why not use some firewall rules? So what this rule is saying is that he said setting allow Azure services and resources to access this server for a yes, allow communication from all resources inside the Azure boundary. So setting to add current client IP address to yes, we add an entry to your client. So what this one is trying to say is that it's an SQL server. If you click this first one, it's saying that everything inside Azure, example your VM, they can have access to that SQL server. If there is need for them to go into the server, bring it out. So either you can pick yes or no. Most times you just pick yes. It said here add current IP address. I pick yes. So your current IP address means that if I give you access to this VM now, if I give you access to this SQL server, and your IP address is not added to it, it will not allow you. Are you getting what I'm saying? Though you are connecting via the internet, but I'm taking a step forward in my security.
Yeah.
I have taken it, I was supposed to say no, I don't want public endpoint. So which means all communications will remain private, which is within the Azure.
Yeah.
But I want you to also have access to it public. So with that, he's saying, okay, now that I decided that I should have access to public, no problem. So I'll just do these two things for me. And the first thing is allowing Azure services and resources to access the server. Okay.
Yeah.
So which means all the other Azure services like VMs, like Logic App, anything that I needed to answer to SQL Server, we have access to. Of course, they should because they are installed. Then it's also saying add current IP address. So which means your your laptop has a current IP address. Even before the last 5 minutes before your IP is changing. So that is to that. So when you want to connect via the internet, it will grab your internet, it will grab your IP. And you get it? It will grab your IP. You say, this is Anthony's IP. I don't know this IP. So what we can do is we can look for your IP and then hide your IP.
Are you there?
Yes, I was trying to just follow on things here.
Okay.
So let's get BNC.
Yeah.
Now look at this connection policy again. He said configure how client communicates with your SQL database. Default, use that. Just leave it at default.
Okay.
Then leave this one as 1.2. Then we move to security. So wait, I want to tell you one here. You understand what I mean?
Yeah.
They are calling this another service, all those class. Because it's Azure SQL, they want to make sure that your security open bank. So protect your data using Microsoft Defender for SQL. So you unify security package. So get started with a 30-day free period. Get started with 30-day free trial period, and then pay 15 years per month. Or you can say, okay, I don't want that, so we leave down. Then
Okay.
let's forget about ledger, really, then transparent data encryption. So what does this do? This one, what does it do? Transparent data encryption encrypts your database and logs at rest without any changes to it. So please, you must understand that line. You understand?
Yeah.
So your transparent data encryption means that this is a form of organization that helps you, that just protect your protect your data while at rest, not when you are moving them. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Okay. So you go to additional settings. So the additional settings is one of two things there. So now it's looking for customized additional parameter, page collection and sample data. So it's saying, okay, data source. Now that you are creating a database, would you need the source for your data? Or are you the one bringing your source data? Or do you want us to define it? Do you understand?
Okay.
So now, what's our data source there? They start with a blank database, which means that the name of database we give you the data, it will be blank, nothing inside. But we want to learn now how can we be creative from the blank. So Then from a backup or select sample to populate your name. So now, if you are using existing data, you press on. And for me, I always go with sample. Okay. So look at the sample data they give us. Adventure work created. So your LT means your lightweight, right?
Okay. Like LT wants stuff for what?
Your LT, adventure work, LT. What does that LT stand for?
That's what I'm asking. What does the LT stand for?
Lightweight.
Lightweight.
Yes, we have 3. First one is
Just adventure works. Yeah, I know there's DW. Are we?
DW means data warehouse. Data warehouse.
Okay.
Then you got that.
Okay, so if you click on sample, it's going to give you
It will give you this adventure work database.
Okay.
Do you remember? Our database, the Posi backend, the just this morning.
Yeah, I think LT Walara, DW Nicola, LT no plan.
Let it let you now. I make sure you have the you know. But this one is LT. LT means lightweight, okay? More of an online transfer.
If you click on none, it won't give you anyone. You have to be the one to bring in your data. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. You ask a question.
If you click on none, for example, what does that mean?
It will be empty. It's a database.
So you now be want
to start running SQL. We are create database.
Okay.
You understand? So what is the situation where you already have the database? You can just it's easier for you to deploy and look at what's the database. Keep running up. You understand?
Yeah.
So collision, database collision, that sort and compare data cannot be changed. So of course, measures will be accurate. So can we see the estimate cost?
Okay.
That's $5 per month. But that's the base cost. So it does not include the cost for the database.
So that was not the cost for the database.
It's paper use now. We have not used it. This one is for the infrastructure to do. Remember, we are deploying database as a platform.
Okay.
So from there now,
this one is just an idea of how it is done, Abi.
Yes, just an idea, right?
Okay.
Do you understand? So already look at our database name, adventure world training data, server name. So look at the networking, look at the security.
Or at any point in time, you can also change the configuration, Abi.
At any time.
Okay. Oh wow.
We click on create. So the way you create now is creating that database and that SQL server too.
Are you creating it?
Yes, I am. Yes, but by the end of the class, I will delete it.
Okay.
So I want you to see it. So when our business you need to create on your own. Have an idea.
Okay. Okay. Now, for example, all these in exam questions and all those certification listing, any of these steps that we just learned, now, is it part of what we are going to learn? I mean, part of the questions really come out because we're still going to get to past question anyway. Because
yes, it will come out. I already have 2.5 hours video for you. Cardiometry. Okay.
As we are, based on you being familiar with the exam question, as you are teaching, if you see anything you are saying that you know where can come out in the exam.
Sir, anything I'm saying, it's coming out of the exam. You can see me talking about this you the other time. You can see me talking about the scaling. I was taking my time because they would talk about it. They would ask questions. And by the time they're asking questions, they will ask questions as if I'm an expert in this thing. Because that's why it's called professional. Do you understand?
Mm-hmm.
So that was why I was thinking, okay, declare from your side at least. And you are familiar with.
No, I can go if there's a class recording which I can go back to learn. That's not
Of course.
of course. That's why there's a class recording.
That's why there's a class recording, which is beautiful. Okay, now so we are deploying our database. Okay. Now
don't let it be you just emphasizing. Always state you want to emphasize that this is a possible exam question.
Exam question.
So that will now,
I like Mr.
that's
Tony.
something.
I like Mr. Tony.
A lot of things are being said, but it's not everything.
That would, of course.
So once you mention something like that,
for me,
honestly, I don't have plans in any way to become a database administrator. I'm just learning it is just the shadow because I don't have plans to retain the knowledge itself because there are lots of things. If I'm working as a data analyst, I have no business as a data administrator. So you understand? So dear, basic, just to know. Even in interview question, I'm not sure anything depending on the role I'm applying for. And of course, when I'm applying, I have to be specific in the kind of role I'm applying for. Anything database administrator, I don't want it. So you understand? But the true thing is that there are lots of things for one to learn too on data analytics and business intelligence. So come on there. Nobody will ask me how to
data analytics without this thing.
No, I know, of course. I know you need to know it.
So that's why I love your patience. I love your patience.
Work environment interview. Nobody will ask me.
You understand? And then don't forget. Okay. Your deployment is complete. Okay. Can you see deployment details?
Yeah.
I will drop it down. Can you see? Killer creates killer. Killer build. Killer build. Can you see?
Mm-hmm.
So.
Okay, they deployed SQL Server, they create database, firewall, blah blah blah.
Do you understand? Yeah. So these are the things that they'll be
because it's like 3-on-1.
So they created the server. They created confirm created the firewall. Who confirm or create the firewall connection policy. And then database one, which I call adventure work. Cannot go to the resources. It's almost like when you open your VM, none. Change your Look at the status. The problem really one pay can never go. So for the fact that you are done or you are done this work, continue to run and it means you need to charge. You understand what I'm
saying?
Yes. Unlike in your VM, which is infrastructure as a service, where you can deallocate and stop, but this one you can't stop. That's a possible question. Okay. That's a possible question. Now, this is also a possible question in exam. Set firewall. So this is the firewall I was telling you about. I'll talk about your IP address.
Yeah.
So basically, you cannot connect to that database. This is based on the configuration why you are. And the reason is that as the filter every IP address. If the IP is not, only might allow me not to worry. If you create it, might still not allow me to enter that. Let's just try, because sometimes so much will. So I go to query editor. So here now, automatically it will pick a credentials. Okay, I can. So now this is another possible. This is another possible question. Look at this sign in now. You can sign in using what? SQL Server authentication. And also sign in using Active Directory. So which means that you must become a user on our Active Directory. Use this to sign in. And I press this now because this one is the owner of the account, so it will allow it. And that's the communication within the private network now. So let me just go with this. Press OK.
What's that?
The active was that. Indeed does not have enough.
So you can't sign it.
No, I'm yet to. Let me vote. I don't know if the subscription is. Okay, now look at it now. Shall will allow me?
Yeah.
Because it creates some policies. Look at what it said. Only you cannot open server, blah 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 blah. Requested by the login. Why? The client with this IP 197 2DD company is not allowed. Maybe you know how to check IP now. So if I come here and say my IP address. This is my IP address.
Okay.
If I come back to Azure, 197.210.77.146. But it belongs to the same network anyway. You know why? 210.53. 210.77. Okay. It's not allowed to access this. So I need to enable access. Use the Azure portal, which means he's saying I should use this. But I don't want to use this. I want to use SQL Server login. It's certain that Azure portal, of course, Azure portal is secured. So if you are not this person, you will not sign it. But here you can steal people's password and say, or login. Say, just want to sign in. Okay, so he said use the Azure portal to run SP set SQL firewall on the master database to create a firewall for this IP address or address range. It may take up to 5 minutes for this. So I can say allow list IP address across server. Ṣé ti rí nǹkan tí mo jẹ́ kí mo tọ́ra sọ fún ilé ẹ̀kan pé èmi gan tí mo create ẹ̀gbọ́n ó lè máa allow mi kí n wọlé.
Okay.
Part of the security. So I can say allow list from here, or I can go back to my overview. Can go back to my overview and set server file.
Okay, this is where you now add the IP address you want to access.
You understand?
So you can add more than one IP address.
As plenty as possible. So this is what we call whitelisting. So we can whitelist those IP addresses. So once you say login, you will now come and check this place. Jenny, you put out no access. So I'm not putting database administration. So even for the fact that it's going to be over the internet, you can still be sure that everything coming from the internet, there's no access to.
Okay.
So yeah, you can change as many things as possible. Okay, so let me see. Copy and see.
If you copy that IP address, you just give you IP address of the system you are using.
Yes.
But if you are using VPN, for example, it won't give you the same IP address.
And you make sure that you're always using the VPN anytime you're connected.
Okay.
No, I'm not using VPN.
Well, question: what's your role in Microsoft, for example? Are you a database administrator or you're a data analyst? Because you can't be jack of all trades now, Abi. You might know it for your personal knowledge, but in an organization, it's structured now. You have a particular unit you work in and a role.
Yeah.
This one that you know, database administration.
Sometimes
What is your role? Go.
My role go right now.
Yes.
Because I've worked before I joined Microsoft. I've worked as a database.
You work where?
I've worked as a database administrator.
Oh, okay.
Yes. But right now, database in Microsoft, one of their backend engineers for their VM data center for hires.
So you're a data engineer.
Yeah, for IaaS. IaaS means infrastructure as a service. So every data that goes through every virtual machine, every storage, every server, and then we use a lot of database tools to run. There's one called Custo. Custo Embark. Custo database.
Now, as a data engineer, do you use SQL a lot, Abi? And do you use Power BI too?
As a data engineer, data engineer doesn't use Power BI. They use what we call
have you at any point worked as a data analyst?
For me?
Yes, that requires you using Power BI, because I'm trying to know the foundation of your knowledge.
When I was working with one arm of Dangote company like that, they are training management. So I was a data analyst. Okay.
Okay.
In fact, that was where the design was coming from. But then we're running after Power BI. Later on, I discovered that Power BI is the list of anything I need to learn. And I discovered, Power BI.
Then don't use SQL too. You're using SQL too. All the codes, that's where you learned all your codes that you know.
Yes, of course. So when I discovered that Power BI, it took me like almost like a month learning Power BI. And then it was what I was also using at work. Then at work, Power BI image. There's one on your desktop where you can play that.
I know.
There's one that is now attached to. So basically, we work in an organization. It is the one that is attached to there. Just be creating dashboard. And one thing is that once you create it, it's what they want. After that, you can't be manipulating. You know what I mean? So one way or the other, you are restricted. So virtually, I don't like working. I don't like for me as a person, I like to explore. And it has been one of those things that have helped me over the years. But go to Microsoft. Why? Because when you stick with one knowledge, you think you know. Until you now begin to like, oh, more, let me try and explore that aspect of things. So, of course, about 8 years down the line, Excel, you understand? Like 8 years, 10 years down the line, Excel, like whenever I would get videos on YouTube, learn Excel, learn how to, you know. So from there, those are about in fact, you don't get in data analyst, right? Paro, I was just like, we used to train people on Excel, advanced analytics. The only question he asks was like, do you know how to use pivot table? I said, yes. This is a lie. Like, why? Because in my church, there were times where we do some breakout sections. Who there, I'm going to teach them. When I learning things, I was just going to teach them. So I was learning those things so that I can teach those guys in church. Because it's like science and technology kind of thing.
Okay.
Passion, yeah. Because next week Sunday, I must teach them. Next week Wednesday, I must teach them something new. Next week, I must teach you another. So it's always pushing me to get something new. That was how I learned. Then it was a huge thing. Pivot table. So when the man was not talking about pivot table, I was like, I like the way. So he hired me. So I like their data. So from there, I knew, okay, learn more. Don't assume that you know. So I started going for, used to call it, the hangout, you know, the hangout. So now one guy came, started talking about Power BI. I was like, okay, I was doing this Power BI. Even the guy I was telling you about Power BI, I was like, no Power BI. So I now discovered that part of the training we were deploying for Dangote staff were Power BI, and the guy was charging. How we are charging this guy? Power BI no something else. So then I was now the man that was teaching them, now begging people to now say I'm gonna bring 50,000. I'm like, you go salary me. Shouldn't anyone bring 50,000? But because of my own desire, I felt I'll always be aware. So then I will now go to Eventbrite. I'm telling you what I did. Go to Eventbrite, see all those hangouts. You know, then those Eventbrite was coming up. See all those hangouts, you know, all those hangouts. So my Saturdays, I will map my Saturdays. I'll go to Yapa, you know, because that's where all those IT guys, that's where they plenty. So shall be going, be attending, I'll be attending. One hour attending next. So my Saturdays like this. It's like when pay me initially. Those people go for all those programs. So one of those days, one guy now said, there's this Power BI hangout that should come. That's why I went. I met some amazing guys. When I got to the place, I was hearing Microsoft Power BI. Okay, I know. I was hearing Microsoft Power Hub. Okay, I know. Which one is Microsoft Power? I was hearing Microsoft Dynamics. Microsoft. Kí ni gbogbo ilé ìtọ́jú náà? Ó ní ìlú ẹ̀ wà sí. You know, that desire, in fact, I didn't even know. In fact, you now got to the point I said, okay, I'll not go and do training. So I started going for training. I went to learn networking, learn cybersecurity, and then cyber administration. Learned a lot. Sql, like microtik router, learning all those things. So then I now left that job. I'm going to now work as a cyber administrator. That is where it will blow. No, blow in terms of knowledge. That's what I mean. Not money now.
I know.
In terms of knowledge. Why? Because they were like they were starting. The operation is already running. They were starting that IT department, and they want the server, deploy a lot of things. And that's why I should be in charge. Now I knew I was going to be in trouble by doing nonsense. So I have to make sure that I get everything I needed to do. I started going for training. In fact, like it was like 50% of my earnings deployed for training. Say 50%. I was going around training. I would learn. I would ask those guys questions. I would play the scenario. You understand? I would let them know this is what I want. You know, that's why I just laugh when you say something. I would just laugh. Why? Because I was like that too. I would tell the guy this is what I want because I want to make sure that what I was hired for, I was not sacked. Then I want to make sure that yes. So I was burning the candle outside when everybody leave work by 4 o'clock. Because it's not really it should be too late, Yeah, I'll still be there till 9:30. So learning, trying to read new things, trying to make sure I was doing a lot. So while I was doing that training, I just spoke with the guy. The guy said, when because it was so it was become difficult to deploy my server, Microsoft Windows server, my laptop because I partition my laptop so that I can be working. So the thing now slowed down. 5 minutes, 10 minutes, still hanging. So then I said that maybe I also signed up to do. I also signed up to do cloud thing. Yes, now. Only here that I should just sign up to Azure so that I can start our cloud training. So that's why I started. And the guys started training me. So when the guys started training me, I now discovered that gbogbo wàhálà tí mò ń experience lórí normal physical laptop. Kíní yìí wẹ́rẹ́ ló máa ṣe. But based on that alone, I just abandoned physical thing. What I did was to just what we call it connect. Mo connect more server yẹn tó wà lórí physical computer. And that's why I started learning Azure. I started doing the certifications. And then I was a Microsoft call. So when I saw that, I'm going to be part of the technical team. Yeah, storage and I started doing some other things. So for database for me, for the first 3 months that I joined the company, we were doing the same training that I've spent 3 years of my life doing. We were doing the same
It's just a walkover for you.
So I wasn't even doing any work over for anything. I just abandoned their training. Just face database. I just face database. You understand? Because I was already an MCT, already Microsoft certified trainer. And also I just saw it as an opportunity to quickly. So I just then because there was more room. Now I want to learn some other things. There's more room where you can now begin to learn and then practice. Because we now have access to things that the access is still so that's where that opportunity came. Right? So why others are going to DevOps? Because at my workplace, everybody is running to DevOps. But I tell them that DevOps, for me, is not something I want to do. All these things that all of you are running to, you need the basis. The basis for job, everything you're doing is data. So I would rather go and attack this thing at the base so that my do the so that is where I started. I was crazy about it. That's something about it. Crazy about it. So for my Saturdays, I told myself that okay, don't stop learning, even though now you do a lot of stuff. So my Saturdays, so I will go together, which we have another thing my long learn. So my Saturday from 8 in the morning to 6, I'll be there learning cybersecurity, cyber attacks. So I want to make sure that okay, when there's another opportunity to shut down straight. So that's where
Okay, it's fine. So that's the need. The big time we must stop.
Well, once we finish.
Okay, once you do this one, yeah, let's continue this one first. Let's see whether you'll not be able to connect since you've added your IP.
Mm-hmm. So we can add extra IP here.
Okay, if you want to add another one.
Unless I want to add your own now. I'll add it. So I'll just save it. That will update. The server. So as you can see now, that's purely an administrative work.
Yes.
So as an administrator, when they say they cannot connect, now know what to now know what to do. But you only one step ahead to also learn data analytics and all of that. But for me, as a Nigerian, you know, as still in Nigeria, me, anything to move on. And then once it will discover and say, I've now gotten so many projects, people that can actually push to other people that I know that they can do it. Do you understand? Yeah. So if I know that they can't do it, so I want to be like a master in a particular field that I know it's difficult for people. So every other field, I can say, okay, why I give them one? So in a particular field when I know, okay, you don't have a choice. You contact me. So we need you on this people. Everything you know,
all right.
Okay. So we've added this. So let's go back to our server. Cancel from here. Go to query editor.
So wait, if you want to access the database now, is this query editor you're going to go? Okay, you know what? Yes. Let's go. Let's say you are just signing in. Okay, you signed in now.
I've signed in now.
Okay, these are your database tables, views, stored procedure.
Do you remember? Does it look familiar? Remember, this is our adventure work training database. Okay. Remember that normally your database will have table, view, stored procedures. Okay. Just a minute, sir. I need to show. So you come by me argue, some serious. I was doing some cyber attack. Yeah, so. Let me show. I want to show some. So this is where you run your query. Select blah 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 blah. Do you understand? But here now you come to your table. There's loading table. Why is it taking time? Is that
We're using basic now.
yeah, that's true. It's so slow. Yeah, that's true. Man. That's true. Maybe like one song.
Ah, okay. Maybe it's just to see the table.
It's just to see it in you. Maybe like one song. I'm going to change the compute straight. Straight away. When you load, I just want you to see it. They understand.
Mhm.
So you see, I came to compute now from settings.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, yes, sir. So from here now, I can change from basic to standard. Okay. So let me increase data size. 40 gig, not 40.
What is the meaning of DT?
Data unit, data transmission unit, data transmission unit.
What's the function?
It's telling you the amount of data to only go at once.
Oh, okay.
Yes, you understand. So there go win until 150.
Mm.
But 115 like that. So which means that you go apply.
You can apply.
Don't know why it's not. It's not.
Kí ló dé?
Don't know why it's not.
Yeah, check now. Check. Okay, can't say apply.
This is the change IP. We should give it a change. This is it. Do you remember? Database. So these are different database now, of course. Customer address. From here, say, select. Abi? Be able to run. So this is the data that is inside.
Yeah.
Alright. So certificate this one now, you can see the interface now. So you don't get to do any configuration. You understand? And like I told you, it's going to be online. Bó ṣe máa wà nìyẹn, except you now delete the SQL server. You understand? So from here, you can connect directly to your Power BI. Can you see?
So, okay, but you have to deploy it first now.
That's it now. So visualize your SQL in Power BI. Transform your SQL server. So you get started. Yeah, I see. Can you see? It's asking us to download Power BI. So which means that Remember, of course, you already have that your Power BI, Azure Data Studio, all those things. You already have it. Do you know? So all you need to do now is that you copy this server name, this link, you never copy, plus the username and password, then you will access it. Let's understand.
Okay.
All right. So, we'll come to
tomorrow.
End of the class. Me mogele go my 2 times, but it's okay, sir. Because all right, sir. Do have a lovely night.
Yeah. All right.
All right.